All right. Good afternoon at Osceola County Jail. Can I be heard there?
Hang on just 1 second. We can barely hear you, Your Honor.
Testing,
So
testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Is that better?
Yeah, but we were just turned down over here, but we got it fixed, so no worries.
Okay. All right, folks, we're here, of course, for initial appearance, which is a brief hearing, the purpose of which is for the court to determine probable cause, if there is probable cause for your incarceration. You have the right to remain silent today. Anything you say could be used against you in a future proceeding by the state. You also have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford to hire one, I can appoint the public defender to represent you in the case. You also have the right to consult with family and friends subject to the reasonable restrictions of the jail. When I call your name, come directly to the podium and we will hold your initial appearance. I want to begin by having parties put their names on the record from the Public Defender's Office.
Yes, Your Honor. Callie Chrysler, Assistant Public Defender.
From the State Attorney's Office.
Annette Ferrer on behalf of the state of Florida.
All right, and someone there from pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor. Pat Hill on behalf of PTR.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Hill. We will begin.
Good morning.
We will begin with Ramon Antuna Laboy.
Your Honor, for the record, the interpreter's connected whenever you're ready.
Okay, we're ready. And who is our interpreter?
Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter.
All right. Do you solemnly swear, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to translate faithfully from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Antuna Laboy, can you afford to hire your own attorney?
Oh, Your Honor, as like yesterday, I also have the clerk sheet of if they are qualified or not.
Okay, I'll let you advise in each instance. As to this instance?
Yes, Your Honor, he does qualify.
Public defender appointed. Mr. Antuna, I find probable cause.
He does require the uses. Pardon me, Your Honor. He does require the use of the Spanish interpreter.
And we have one. All right. So, Madam Interpreter, you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Antuna Laboy, the court finds probable cause for petty theft.
Señor Antuno Lavoy, se determina que existe indicios de criminalidad con respecto a la acusación de hurto de menor cuantía.
One moment.
Deme un momento.
Bond is $750. You're not.
La fianza. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Go on.
You're not to return to the Home Depot located at 4560 13th Street in St. Cloud.
La fianza se fijará en $750. Usted está prohibido regresar al Home Depot ubicado en la 4560 calle 13 St. Cloud.
The defendant is apparently out on bond from Polk County.
Aparentemente, el acusado ya se encontraba libre bajo fianza en el condado de Polk.
So Polk County authorities should be teletyped with this new offense information.
Por lo tanto, se mandará un teletipo a las autoridades de Polk con respecto a este nuevo ilícito.
Your next court date in this matter will be provided.
Se le entregará la fecha de la próxima vista en este asunto.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Ms. Chrysler, were there any other interpreter matters? Damaris
Your
Barkley?
Honor, yes, there are some. There is Jose Cantor Selly.
He'll be next.
Okay.
Are you Mr. Barkley?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barkley, you've been arrested for failing to appear for a criminal traffic matter. Judge Epperson set your bond at $1,000. That is your bond. In terms of public defender, Ms. Chrysler?
Yes, Your Honor, he does qualify.
Public defender appointed. Next court date to be provided. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I believe he has an additional FTA warrant.
Correct. Thank you for that, Ms. Hill. There's also a failure to appear in case 19 CT 3389 And the court also granted a $1,000 bond in that matter, so it's $1,000 on each. Thanks, Ms. Hill. I do want to do our interpreter matters first. Sir, actually, Jose Cantor Seeley, come forward. Sir, your date of birth?
Señor, dígame su fecha de nacimiento.
El 5 de julio de 1983.
July the 5th, 1983.
All right, sir, I do find probable cause for the offense of battery.
Con respecto a la acusación de agresión física, determino que existe indicios de criminalidad.
Bond is $500.
La fianza se fija en $500.
Should you make bond, this would be supervised by pretrial release with the following conditions.
Si usted logra depositar la fianza, será usted supervisado por el programa de libertad provisional con las siguientes condiciones.
You're to have no contact with Adriana Gomez.
Prohibido ningún tipo de contacto con Adriana Gómez.
You're not to return to 2218 Grand Cayman Court.
Prohibido regresar a la 2218 Grand Cayman Court.
You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages.
Prohibido tener o consumir bebidas alcohólicas.
If you have personal belongings at that location, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for things like clothing and toiletries.
Si todavía le quedan pertenencias en esa morada, se le va a permitir usted regresar una vez para recoger sus ropas y cosas pequeñas con la asistencia de un sheriff.
And did we deal with the public? I can't recall whether we addressed the issue of counsel. Ms. Chrysler?
No
He
sé,
does
si se habló
qualify.
no sé si se habló con respecto al tema de asistencia letrada. Sí, su señoría, él cualifica para ello.
Public defender appointed.
Por lo tanto, se le designa defensor público
Next court date to be provided.
y se le entregará la fecha de la próxima vista.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
I believe we have one more for the interpreter, Alexander Medina Gonzalez.
All right, sir. Good morning. The court finds probable cause for battery.
Buenos días, señor. Este juzgado determina que existe indicios de criminalidad con respecto a la acusación de agresión física.
Setting bond at $500
Se fija fianza en $500
with pretrial release supervision.
con la supervisión del programa de libertad provisional.
You're to have no contact with Ms. Karen Torres.
Prohibido ningún tipo de contacto con la señora Karen Torres.
You're not to return to 330 Shebourne Lane in Kissimmee.
Prohibido regresar a las 330 Shebourne Lane en Kissimmee.
I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring personal items.
Voy a permitir que pueda regresar una vez a esa vivienda acompañado por el sheriff para recoger sus pertenencias.
Ms. Chrysler, you qualified?
Yes, Your Honor.
Licenciada, él cualifica, sí, su señoría.
Public defender is appointed in the matter.
En este asunto se le designa defensor público
Court date to be provided.
y se le entregará la fecha de la próxima vista.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Ms. Chrysler, that's it with the interpreter cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
Okay, thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor. I'll be on standby for Orange.
Thanks. Okay, now moving forward, Ms. Chrysler, as we call each case, I'd prefer, of course, to deal with the counsel issue up front, and so I'll let you tell me in each instance. Suzanne Bluestein,
She's going to acquire a private attorney, Your Honor.
okay? All right, Ms. Bluestein, having reviewed the police report, the court finds no probable cause as by the statements of the officers themselves, they were unable to determine primary aggressor. You'll be released on your own recognizance in this matter. That does not mean that the state may not prosecute. That's their decision. I'm simply finding no probable cause today. Before you're released, the jail would have to have your current contact information. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, is that for the battery?
That is for the battery, yes. Or actually,
I
it's
also
for
have a
resisting.
resisting without.
It's
Oh.
actually for,
Resisting.
yeah, just a moment. Just a moment. Yeah, that's for the resisting without violence, okay? So it's no PC, it's ROR. Thank you. Stephen
Yes, Your
Courier.
Honor.
What about the
You're-
battery?
Yeah. Well, that's.
Your Honor?
Yes.
What about the battery charge for
Same,
Ms. Bluestein?
same thing, ROR. Same thing.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, he is in the back corner, and they're going to bring him up right now, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you. In terms of counsel,
He does qualify.
public defender appointed. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Courier. Court finds probable cause for trespassing. Your bond will be $250. You're not to return to the Wawa located at 2499 South Orange Blossom Trail. The public defender's been appointed. Your next court date will be provided.
I'd like to request PTR. I won't be able to afford a bond, and I have
Okay.
to work at church and labor.
Yeah, that's denied. Thank you. Alyssa Guerin. Alyssa Guerin.
Denied above guidelines. And she is right here.
All right, Ms. Guerin, if you're going to have counsel, you'll need to hire your own. All right, again, the court's reviewed this police report, and the court finds no probable cause, as there was an inability to determine that the defendant may not have acted in self-defense. So the defendant will be ROR'd in this case. That means you'll be released on your own recognizance, Ms. Guerin, and you'll need to make sure the jail has your most current address information so that you get future paperwork in this case should the state move forward. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Frank Guzman. All right, good morning. Mr. Guzman, you've been arrested for a violation of probation. The underlying charge was a criminal traffic matter, and the court set bond at 0. It will remain 0 at this time. In terms of counsel,
He does qualify, Your Honor.
public defenders appointed. Next court date will be provided. Joel Haniff.
He qualifies, Your Honor.
Public defender appointed. One moment. All right, Mr. Haniff, I do find probable cause, excuse me, for the listed offense of theft. Your bond in the case is actually going to be set at $1,000. You have an open case in case 2019 CF 982, on which you have been released on your own recognizance because of probable cause of a new criminal offense. Your ROR status will be revoked in that case. You'll be held 0 bond in case 19 CF 982, but the public defender will be appointed in that matter as well. Your next court date will be provided. Thank you. Jennifer Hurst.
She qualifies, Your Honor.
Thank you. Public defender appointed. Ms. Hurst, I find probable cause for battery. Your bond will be $500, subject to pretrial release supervision. You're to have no contact with Casey Alegria, and you must maintain a separate residence. All right, so no contact and maintain a separate residence. I'm not going to issue a no return because there's some uncertainty as to ownership and that type of thing, but understand no contact, all right? Your next court date will be provided, and the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. All right, thank you. Gary McQuaig.
He does qualify.
Public defender appointed. Hello, Mr. McQuaig. Probable cause was already determined in this matter because this was an arrest warrant case.
Your Honor, have you had a chance to review the arrest warrant?
I have, yes.
It said that he had,
Right, I'm listening.
it does say that he had permission to have the car.
He does say that. And it looks like he was arrested the same day.
At the same residence.
Yeah. And yet a court found probable cause, and the defendant was placed under arrest. The probable cause determination was already made. Anything to add, Ms. Chrysler? I understand
No, Your Honor, just
point.
that,
Yeah.
yes, Your Honor, that's pretty much it, that he was arrested, he lives at the same residence, he lives with his father, he was there, he had permission to have the car, and,
Ms.
yeah.
Ms. Hill, any contact with the father?
No, Your Honor.
Because of the defendant's history, he does not qualify for PTR?
He does meet criteria, Your Honor. His last conviction was 2006. We could do a non-monetary PTR with him.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so non-monetary pretrial release. And for now, well, I'm going to order that you have no hostile contact with the alleged victim of the car theft, and that would be your father. No hostile contact. And for now, subject to, just a moment. For now, you cannot return to 1543 Heather Way. You can talk to your attorney about getting a modification to that if appropriate. If you have personal belongings there, then I would grant a return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for acquiring those belongings. And Ms. Chrysler, depending on the father's position on that, you could file a motion to have that modified if the victim's acquiescent. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next court date to
Thank
be
you.
provided.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day. James Mercer.
He qualifies, Your Honor.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he bonded.
Well, there was going to be a PC issue anyway, so, but he's bonded. Paula Mills.
And she qualifies, Your Honor.
Okay. Public defender appointed. Hello, Ms. Mills. Just one moment. Ms. Mills, the court finds probable cause for the lesser included offense of misdemeanor battery. Your bond will be $1,000. You're to have no contact with the alleged victim, who's identified as Barbara in the police report. Ms. Hill, do you happen to have a last name?
No.
Mulholland, Barbara Mulholland.
No contact with Barbara Mulholland. Also, you're not to return to 201 Anson Drive. If you have personal belongings, such as clothing and toiletries at that location, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office. Other than that, not to return to that location. Your next court date will be provided.
Thank you, sir.
Lacey Rowe. All right, hello, Ms. Rowe. You've been arrested on a violation of probation warrant. Judge Tynan has set your bond at 0. That's 19 CF 1350. Ms. Chrysler, does she qualify?
Yes, Your Honor.
Public defender will be appointed in this matter. Your next court date will be provided. That's it. Youssef Marichia.
Refused, Your Honor.
All right. He refused to come even though he is there. I know he was in medical yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor, he refused today.
Okay, I find he's waiving his initial appearance. This is violation of probation, 18 CF 38190 bond, remains 0 bond. Public defender appointed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Michael Cabasa.
Yes, Your Honor, the officers could have one moment. They're bringing him up.
Okay, we'll be in a brief, we'll take a little break here while they bring him up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Where's my sticky on here? This one already reviewed? Oh, okay. I'm worried. Ms. Chrysler, while we're awaiting his arrival, in terms of qualifying,
Honor.
in terms of qualifying for counsel, I'm presuming he may not qualify?
He does not qualify, Your Honor. That is correct. He is above guidelines.
All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Cabasa. Having reviewed the police report in the case, the court finds probable cause for battery. I'm going to set bond at $500, subject to pretrial release supervision, if he qualifies. Yes, okay, so it's a $500 bond with pretrial release supervision. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Brianna Mahmood. You're also not to return to 2448 Seven Oaks Drive for now until further order of the court. If you have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing, toothbrush, items for work, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring those belongings. You have the right to legal counsel, of course, but you don't qualify for the public defender, so you'd have to hire your own. Your next court date will be provided to you. Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I may, I did have contact with the alleged victim's mother.
Okay.
The alleged victim is 14 years old, and she was on the phone as well, but we normally don't contact minors. The mother stated that they've been having several issues with the alleged victim, mental health concerns involved, and she was out of control on the day in question. And she actually assaulted the defendant, and the defendant, just in a reflex moment, did not intentionally anything, and the mother and the alleged victim are requesting that he return home. This individual, the defendant, is a contributing member of the community. He has no prior history. They've had no prior incidents in the past of any kind of behavior or violent indications, and they are currently in the process of getting treatment for the alleged victim.
Okay.
As
Well,
far as the mental health concerns are.
There's often more to a situation than's contained in the report, but according to the report, the defendant punched the alleged victim in the right eye with a closed fist. I will, in light of the information,
Your Honor, also contained in the report by both.
I read the whole report, so whatever information you give me, I've read. If
Yes.
you want to highlight something, go ahead. If you want to highlight
Yes,
something.
Your Honor. The thing that I wish to highlight is the fact that both the mother of the alleged victim and Mr. Cabasa said that the alleged victim in this had kicked him in the groin prior to that reaction. So.
Well, it wasn't clear in terms of sequencing of events, but I did read that in the police report. State, did you have something you wanted to add? The state attorney's here.
Yes, Your Honor, just to put on the record that the state would request no contact with the victim and still no return to that house.
Right. All right, I was cognizant of the issues that were raised by Ms. Hill as I read the report. And that's certainly a factor to consider. I'm going to maintain the order as I've put it, and Mr. Cabasa can seek modification to that if he chooses to make such a request in a motion. All right, so that's the court's ruling. All right, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Hill.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe that concludes our Osceola matters.
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
All right, everyone have a good day. We'll be in recess as far as Osceola is
You too, Your Honor.
concerned. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, now, so do we only have one? Okay, in terms of, I did, yep, I'm good, okay.
So, you guys are able? Yeah, they have that. So everything you read, they're able
Good.
to do. So we're gonna do this back first.
Okay. Just rely on you for the order. Okay. Okay, we gotta get them done by noon.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, you gotta get done by
No,
now.
no, no, no.
No, it's fine. Okay.
That's not gonna happen, actually. Okay, I just needed to determine whether our interpreter is back on the line available.
Yes, Your Honor, she is.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue on then. Sir, wearing the headset, can you please tell me your name?
Elmer Escalante Velázquez. Elmer Escalante Velázquez.
Hedmer Escalante
I'm
Velasquez.
sorry, we're off record. Just a moment. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're good. BRC's green and normal's green, so. Sir, if you wanted a lawyer, do you have enough money to hire one?
A lo mejor sí.
Maybe. Maybe yes.
I'll make a provisional appointment of the Public Defender's Office for this hearing. The court finds probable cause for battery domestic violence. I'm setting your bond at $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact with the alleged victim in the case, that individual being Antonio Velasquez. You must not return to 125 East 12th Street in Apopka. If you have personal belongings there, such as clothing or toiletries, I'll grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for acquiring those belongings. And your next court date will be provided. Did you understand? Did you hear and understand all of this?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And Javier Chavez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Thank you. And for the state today?
Annette Ferrer on behalf of the state of Florida.
Thank you. Okay. We haven't,
Excuse me, Javier. I just want to let you know that the mic is away from you and it doesn't pick you up very well.
Okay. Javier Chavez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
sir, please state your name.
Jose Manuel Goico Torres.
The court.
Jose Manuel Goico Torres.
Jose Magal Goico Torres.
Court finds probable cause for the offense of aggravated battery. I'm setting your bond at $2,500. You're to have no contact with Mr. Jorge Lopez, the alleged victim in the case, and you must not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages as a condition of your continued release. Your next, you filled out an application for the public defender, and I'm going to make the appointment. So you now have legal representation in this case, and this is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. Chavez. Your next court date will be provided to you. Did you understand all of this?
Sino Tronol. Sino Tronol.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I cannot understand it.
Yes, I want just honor.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Sure. Buen día.
Okay, the next individual is now wearing the headset. Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Dani Pagan.
Annie Pagan?
Ms. Pagan, I'm going to make a provisional appointment of the public defender today. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. I find probable cause for trespassing after warning. Your bond is $500. You're not to return to the Azteca de Arroco restaurant located at 12403 South Orange Blossom Trail. Your next court date will be provided. Thank you. All right, the next gentleman's wearing the headset. Your name, sir?
Nicolás Malagón Guzmán.
Nicolás Malagón Guzman.
Sir, you've been arrested on a warrant out of Osceola County. The bond is $0. It's for failure to appear for a pretrial conference. The issuing court set your bond at $0. It will remain $0 at this time, and Osceola County will have 24 hours to pick you up. Thank you. I'll provisionally appoint the public defender as well, since it's in this circuit.
I went to the court. Yo no fui a esa corte, pero yo hablé con mi public defender y yo fui a la corte siguiente que me dieron. Entonces, en esa corte que me dieron me quitaron la orden de arresto. So, no sé por qué todavía sigue.
I didn't appear in court, but I explained it to my public defender. My public defender set a new court date. We both went to that court date, and they withdrew the arrest warrant. So now I don't understand why it's there.
Okay, Mr. Chavez, if you can look into that, because the information I have is that this is an active warrant that was executed, and the case number it's 19MM2043, 19MM2043. All right, your attorney has been provided with that information. Thank you. You can take off the headset.
The victim needed the interpreter, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, please state your name.
Ezekiel Lopez.
Okay, I believe the alleged victim is here, and I assume that the way this will work is the translation will be over the system, so we're not using the headset, Madam Interpreter. We have the alleged victim here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Señora, dígame su nombre, por favor.
Stephanie Ortiz.
Stephanie Ortiz.
You are named as the alleged victim in this case, an accusation of battery. You have the...
A usted se le tiene aquí como la supuesta víctima. La acusación es agresión física.
You have the right to briefly be heard today.
Tiene usted todo el derecho de brevemente tener la palabra aquí hoy día.
Is there something you wanted to say?
¿Acaso tiene usted algo que nos quiere contar?
Lo mismo que conté cuando hice la denuncia, que él me dio.
The same thing that I already stated when I filed the complaint. In other words, that he hit me.
Any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
¿La Fiscalía tiene alguna pregunta? No, Su Señoría.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. Please tell me your name.
Ezekiel Lopez.
Okay. Go ahead, Madam Interpreter. I'm sorry.
Le designaré un defensor público para representarle a usted en esta causa. Dígame su nombre, señor López.
The court finds probable cause for battery and criminal mischief.
Con respecto a la acusación de agresión física y causar daños a propiedad ajena, se establece que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Your bond on count 1 battery will be $1,000.
Con respecto al primer cargo de agresión física, se fijará fianza de $1,000.
Bond on criminal mischief will be $500.
Con respecto a causar daños a propiedad ajena, la fianza será $500.
Should you make bond, you're to have no contact with Ms. Stephanie Ortiz Rodriguez.
Si logra usted depositar la fianza, estará usted prohibido de tener ningún tipo de contacto con Stephanie Ortiz Rodríguez.
You're not to return to 824 West Lancaster Road.
Prohibido regresar a la 824 Lancaster Road Oeste.
If you have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing or your toothbrush and things like that, I'd grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office.
Si todavía a usted le quedan pertenencias en esa vivienda, por ejemplo su ropa, hasta el cepillo de dientes, le permitiré a usted regresar una vez acompañado por un agente policial.
Your next court date will be provided.
Se le entregará a usted la fecha de la próxima vista.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you for being here.
Gracias, señora, por haber venido.
Okay, any further interpreter needs? Just want to give our interpreter guidance. Let's see. Who's in a position to give that information if we need the interpreter further? We think we're done? Okay, Madam Interpreter, I believe that concludes the need for your services. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor. The interpreter will disconnect.
All right, thanks. Good weekend. Sir, your name?
Paul Knight.
All right. Mr. Knight, you've been arrested on warrants out of Palm Beach County. The court did grant you a bond on count one, apparently a grand theft out of Palm Beach. Your bond is $4,500. In count two, uttering a forgery, your bond is $4,500. Palm Beach County will have 72 hours to pick you up on these warrants, but those are your bond amounts.
Okay. I posted bond yesterday, and it said my bond was pending.
Okay.
And then today it just said it didn't say anything. Could you understand why that's?
What was the last thing you said?
It's yesterday my bond was posted. It said bond pending.
Okay.
And today, before I came to court today, they just said it didn't say anything. So I was trying to figure out and get an understanding of why that was, because they said it yesterday it was posted.
Okay. Well, the total bond, if you added them together, would be $9,000, $4,500 apiece, and if you've posted bond, you should be released. All right. I don't get into the processing of those affairs. I don't know if anyone corrections can give some information.
The bondsman denied the bond.
The bondsman denied it?
So you probably need to go with a different bondsman.
Yeah, it's a contract issue then.
The bondsman was Dina Edwards?
Yeah, she denied it.
She denied it? Well, why did she post it?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, sir. Your name?
James Blankenship, sir.
Mr. Blankenship, I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the listed offense of battery. Your bond is actually, let me review your application. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. Your bond will be $1,000. You're to have no contact with Patricia, trying to read my own handwriting, Patricia Kerr, all right, no contact. You're also not to return to 1908 Clover Lawn Avenue. You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages as a condition of your release. Your next court date will be provided.
Okay.
Thank you.
When will I get provided, how will I get my next court date? Through my attorney?
You'll receive it. Yeah, you'll receive it. Madam Clerk, you're not in a position to announce a court date at the moment? Okay. You'll receive it, but you have a bond.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your name, sir?
My name is Kenneth Angel Burgos.
Okay. Mr. Burgos, you've been arrested on an allegation of a violation of probation. The issuing court, the judge that issued the VOP warrant in case number 18 CF 1351 set bond at 0. There's just a moment. There's another matter, case 17 CF 16699. It's a violation of probation, and the court set bond at 0. There's also new offenses of driving while license suspended with knowledge for which the court finds probable cause. Operating an unregistered motor vehicle for which the court finds probable cause. Your bond on each of those will be $500. The public defender's office is appointed to represent you in these matters, and your next court date will be provided for each of these cases. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's $500 on each of the traffic matters, unregistered motor vehicle and driving while license suspended. Your name?
Jonathan Fry.
All right, Mr. Fry, you've been arrested for failing to appear in case 18 CF 6741 for a competency hearing. The issuing court set your bond at 0 on the failure to appear. Just one moment. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. I know the defendant is out on bond on a couple of misdemeanor offenses, 18 MM 948, 18 MM 1683. The court won't take any action on those, but you are on a 0 bond on the failure to appear for the circuit case. Yes, sir?
I got hearing problems.
Oh, okay. Is this better?
I got bad hearing problems. I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me now?
I can't. No, I couldn't hear a word you said.
Okay, we have an assist. We have a apparatus to help.
Okay. Okay.
Is that functioning better?
Hold up. So sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
Now can you?
Mr. Fry, you failed to appear in a case in circuit court. The case number is 18 CF 6741. It was a competency hearing. The court issued a no bond warrant, so you're being held on a zero bond until your next court date in that case. You're also out on bond on 2 misdemeanor offenses, disorderly conduct, I believe, in each case. I'm not going to take any action on those matters, but it will remain a zero bond on the failure to appear. All right, the public defender's been appointed to represent you, so you have legal counsel in each of these matters. That'll be for all 3 cases.
Okay. I have one question, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
What was the question? That what happened was the last place where I used to live with my father. The code enforcement people had come to my father's house, and they told us we had to leave the house, and so we just packed up. We had to leave. We went to stay with my father's friend's house. He stayed on Bumby Avenue by the juvenile center, and we only had to because the code enforcement told us we had to leave the house.
Okay. If you believe that your failure to appear was not willful, in other words, if you... let me just finish,
Yes,
and then we're going to be done, actually. But if you don't believe that your failure to appear was willful, like that you didn't receive notice or you weren't aware of it, then you need to give your attorney all of that information.
Yes.
So then maybe that no bond could be changed. But for now, it's a no bond.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, sir.
So that, all right.
Next case. Is Randy Reese here?
Yes, sir.
Right, Mr. Reese has been arrested on an alleged violation of probation. The underlying charge was trafficking controlled substance and unlawful use of a communication device. The issuing court, Judge Harris, set your bond at 0. It'll remain 0 at this time. The public defender's office is appointed to represent you, and your next court date will be provided. Thank you. Brian Price here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, hello, Mr. Price. Let me look at your public defender application. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause. Get some feedback there. I do find a probable cause for the listed offense of battery. Your bond will be $1,000. You're not to have any contact with Donna Price. I realize that's your mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to return to 14406 Brushwood Way. If you have personal belongings there, such as clothing and toothbrush and necessary items, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for acquiring those belongings. Otherwise, you're not to return. Your next court date will be provided.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Could I request ROR bond? I don't have anyone that could bail me out.
Well, I made my decision after reviewing your criminal history and the facts of the case, and I've made an informed decision that $1,000 will be your bond for today. You can talk to your attorney about getting a modification to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is LaMarcus Robinson here? You Mr. Robinson? Are you Mr. Robinson?
Yes, sir.
All right, just a moment. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Mr. Robinson, the court does find probable cause for the listed offense of battery. I'm ordering I'm giving you a bond in the amount of $500 and ordering that you not return to the 7-Eleven located at 486 North Orange Avenue and that you not have any contact with any employees of that establishment. Your next court date will be provided.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, is Mr. Galloway there? Are you Mr. Galloway?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you based on your application. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. Just a moment. All right, court finds probable cause for a violation of city ordinance for disorderly conduct, obstructing traffic. Ms. Chavez, you want to be heard on the matter? The bond's $250. I'm not going to elevate it. That would be the bond. I didn't know if he was interested in entertaining a plea or not.
Yes, Judge, my client would like to plead the bench.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, Sean.
All right, you can put your hand down. Do you understand that if you plead guilty to this offense, that you're giving up your right to a jury trial?
Yes, Sean.
And you understand the maximum sentence in this case would be 60 days in jail and a $500 fine? I'm not saying that's your sentence. I'm saying that would be the maximum.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes, Sean.
All right. Normally, the state attorney would have to file a document called an information in this case for you to be formally charged. If you want to enter a plea, you're going to give up your right to require them to do that. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, Sean.
All right. Do you plead guilty to disorderly conduct for your conduct at the location of South Orange Blossom Trail and Long Street by interfering with traffic in the roadway?
Yes, Sean.
I accept your plea of guilty. Just a moment. Sentencing you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for, it's either 1 or 2. Not sure. Okay, 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you've already served. Court cost of $323, $50 cost for the services of the public defender, grand total $373. You must report to the Clerk of Courts Collections Department within 5 days of release from custody to make a payment arrangement for this obligation. You have 30 days to appeal. All right, thank you. Elderly Dormal?
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Elderly Dormal.
All right, sir, the court finds probable cause for trespass after warning. Your bond is $250. You're not to return to the Tin and Taco restaurant at 40 West Washington Avenue. Your next court date will be provided. The public defender is appointed to represent you, so you have an attorney. All right, thank you.
So, what I have? How much days I have, mister?
What's that?
When I'm discharged.
Well, you're not discharged today, but you'll have to talk to your lawyer about those issues, okay? Right. I'm showing Matthew Bryant to be the next individual. $250. I lowered it from $500 to $250. Hello, sir. Your name?
Matthew Bryant.
All right. And ma'am, your name?
Mildred Risha.
Ms. Risha, I'm sorry. Ms. Risha, you are the listed victim in the case. You do have the right under Florida State Constitution to be heard today. If there's anything you wanted to say, do you want to speak?
Yes, I just asked for a no contact order, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bryant, having reviewed the police report, I do find probable cause for the offense of battery in case number 19MM788. Your bond will be $1,000. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Mildred Risha. No contact means none. No third-party communications, no text messages, no communications whatsoever. Also, you're not to return to 2451 Pickford Circle. If you have personal belongings at that, just a moment. I'll ask in a minute. If you have personal belongings at that location because it's where you were living, such as clothing, toothbrush, and necessary things for work, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for acquiring those belongings. Just one moment. There's one other matter I need to deal with. Okay, a separate charging affidavit was written up in 19 CF 16, is that 98 or 78?
1678.
Okay, in 1678. The court also finds probable cause for burglary of a conveyance with an assault or battery therein for the lesser included offense of petty theft and criminal mischief as alleged in count 3. Your bond on count 1, burglary with an assault or battery therein, will be $5,000. Your bond on count 2, petty theft, will be $100. And your bond on count 3, criminal mischief, will be $250. These all arise out of the same incident, but there were two separate charging affidavits. The Public Defender's Office, you don't qualify, so you have the right to an attorney, but you would have to hire your own attorney if you're going to be represented by legal counsel. All right, your next court date will be provided to you. Now, did you have a question?
I do, Your Honor. 2451 is my residence. I own the home. Ms. Risha doesn't live there.
All right, Miss, now I put aside the, ma'am.
Yes.
Ms. Risha, I have ordered him not to return to 2451 Pickford Circle because in reading the report, there was a presumption on the court's part that perhaps you live there. Do you live there?
I do not,
Okay,
no.
so would you have no objection to him returning to that location?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, thank you for that. That's important information. I will strike the provision that you not return to 2451 Pickford Circle. You may return there. You just have no contact at all with Ms. Risha. Now, understand, if you had contact, and I'm not assuming you will, but if you did, it would likely result in a no bond warrant, and then you would have to sit in jail waiting for your next court date. So just make sure you comply with that.
Yes, sir.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sir, your name?
Gabriel Gonzalez, sir.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, the court has reviewed the police report and finds probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez, standing to your left. Your bond will be $500. You're to have no contact. Actually, Ms. Duran, are you Ms. Lisa Duran?
Yes.
All right. You're the listed victim. You have the right to be heard if there's something briefly you wanted to say. Is there something you wanted to say?
I think this just was a big misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Just one moment. All right, your bond will be $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no contact with Ms. Lisa Duran. You're not to return to 11658 Purple Lilac Circle. That's even, I understand that she may want you to come back, but for now you can't. Let me finish. All right. If you have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing or toiletries, I would grant I'll let you finish there. Go ahead and sign. If you have personal belongings at that location, I'll grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring those belongings. You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or go to any bars as a condition of your release. Was there something you wanted to say?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's nice to have somebody else on my side, but it was a big misunderstanding. And, I mean, I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but she is epileptic, and I'm the only one that works, and we got 2 sons. And I know it doesn't look good. I'm pretty sure you read it. It scared me when I read it. I was like, really? You know, but, you know, I just believe it's a big misunderstanding. And I know you have guidelines and stuff, but I want to just kind of throw it out there that I want to be able to make sure that I can be there for them.
Okay.
That for me is, I don't worry about me as much because I'll be all right, you know, but with them, I want to be able to provide for them. And
Right. You now have an attorney, and this is the order that's being entered today. It can potentially be modified, but that would necessitate the filing of a motion and a hearing. So that's the order for today. All right. I appreciate you sharing that with me, and your next court date will be provided.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Your name, ma'am?
Imaya Gordon.
Okay, Ms. Gordon. Good morning. Just a moment. Okay. I will appoint the public defender to represent you based on the application you filled out. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the charge of aggravated assault. I believe we have someone here. Your name?
Tiffany Johnson.
All right, Ms. Johnson, and there's another person there?
Yes, my son.
Sir, your name?
DeQuavius.
All right, Mr. DeQuavius Fudge, you're the individual who's listed as the alleged victim. Is there anything you wanted to say today?
No, sir.
No? All right.
Oh, no, I ain't want to say nothing though, but I ain't have no problem with her though.
He's saying that cause she don't have anywhere else to live, and I want contact with her. She needs to be able to come back home because she's pregnant, and she don't have nowhere else to go.
Okay. How do you feel about that, DeQuavius?
Good.
You want her to come back home?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would ask for the same conditions you just stated of no contact with the victim and no return.
All right. Ms. Gordon, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,500. You're to have no hostile contact with Mr. DeQuavius Fudge. I realize he's your brother. No hostile contact. No hostile contact includes any act of violence or any threat of violence, all right? That would violate the conditions of your bond release, and you would be arrested and sitting in jail on a no bond if you were to violate those conditions. All right, public defender's been appointed, and your next court date will be given to you. All right, thank you. All right, sir, your name?
Johnny Hartwell.
All right.
Jr.
Mr. Hartwell, let me review your application just a moment. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left, an attorney with that office. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the listed offenses of battery on a law enforcement officer as well as battery domestic violence. Your bond on count 1, the battery on a law enforcement officer, will be $1,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $1,000. Should you make bond, you're not to possess. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. And you are Ms. Brianne McCormick?
Yes, sir.
Ms. McCormick, is there anything you wanted to say?
Yes, sir. I would like to request contact with him. I do believe this was a big misunderstanding, and I apologize.
What are you apologizing for?
Because it just...
That's okay.
It's just gone, blown up out of... I would like contact with him, Your Honor, please.
Okay. All right, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, sir.
Your bond on count 1, battery on a law enforcement officer, will be $1,000. Your bond on count 2 will be $1,000. Should you make bond, you're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or go to any bars. You're also not to return to the Disney Springs property while this case is pending.
Yes, sir.
And for now, you're to have no contact with Ms. Brianne McCormick. All right? You can talk to your attorney about getting a modification possibly to that, but for now it's no contact whatsoever. That includes text messaging, phone calls, any contact at all. And your next court date will be provided to you. All right, thank you. Okay, your name, ma'am?
Yolanda Williams.
Okay, Ms. Williams, the court's reviewed the police report. Just a second. Does the defendant qualify for straight pretrial release?
Yes.
I'm appointing the public defender to actually, it's a close call. I'm going to make a provisional appointment of the public defender's office in this case. There needs to be further scrutiny to the application. It's a close call. You'll be placed on pretrial release supervision, and as a condition of that, you're to have no contact with Jerry Bryant, no contact whatsoever. All right, the jail will have to have your most current address information so you can receive notice of any future court dates in this case. All right, thank you. Okay. Your name, sir?
Joey Butch Netherton, Jr.
All right, Mr. Netherton, you've been arrested for failing to appear for a criminal traffic matter, a drug paraphernalia charge. The judge did give you a bond in the amount of $500, so that is your bond amount. The Public Defender's Office, just a moment. Just a moment, let's see. All right, you don't qualify for the public defender, so if you're going to have counsel, you'll have to hire your own private attorney. Your next court date will be provided to you. Yes, sir?
I showed up for the court date and left a note for Your Honor, and it was on record, and I was there. I'm from Brevard County, and I'm here in Orange County getting arrested. I was here. I showed up for court.
Okay. I wasn't there that day. If your failure to appear was not willful, you need to talk to your lawyer if you hire one about that. But there was an active warrant. That's why you were arrested. If you have a defense to it, you definitely might be worth your while to consult with an attorney.
Is there any way to get a PTR or
no,
something?
Sir. No, that's it. Okay, I'm going to handle these two cases, and then we're going to take a brief recess while I finish reading the rest, and then we'll finish everything up. All right? Sir, your name?
I'm Basilio Matias, sir.
All right, I have reviewed the police report. I find probable cause for resisting a law enforcement officer without violence. Just a moment. As well as a traffic violation for not updating the address within the time prescribed by law. Your bond on the resisting without will be $500, $100 bond on the traffic case. I don't have paperwork. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No, sir, I can't.
I'm going to make a provisional appointment at the Public Defender's Office in this case, and your next court date will be provided. Thank you. All right, are you Mr. Matias?
Yes,
Oh, that was Mr.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Your Honor, I have Mr. Matias as a failure to appear.
Yeah. That was a mistake on my part. Sir, your name?
Basilio.
The gentleman at the microphone.
Basilio Matias. It was failure to appear.
Okay.
For Mohammed? Tabico or something? Oh,
Yeah,
he bonded.
I just.
Okay, he bonded, Judge.
Okay, so.
I was in detox for 9 days.
Tell me your name.
Basilio Matias.
Okay, Mr. Matias, just one moment. You've been arrested for failing to appear on a leaving the scene of an accident case. The issuing court set your bond at $500. Just a moment. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this case. That is your bond amount, and you'll be given a court date. All right, thank you. And your name, sir? Okay. Okay, the court finds probable, let me deal with the attorney question first. You've submitted an application, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you based on your application. This is Mr. Chavez to your left. The court does find probable cause for driving under the influence and driving while license suspended. Your bond on each of those two counts will be $500. The court does not find that there's probable cause for the refusal to submit to a breath test with a prior refusal, and so you'll be ROR'd on that particular case. They just didn't provide sufficient evidence of a prior refusal. Unfortunately, you are out on bond in case 18MM6590. Based upon probable cause for new law violations, your bond will be revoked on that case, and you'll be held on a zero bond in 18MM6590. Looks like you had or have private counsel on that, Mr. Oshevsky. All right, I won't appoint on that case since it's listed that you have counsel. Your next court dates will be provided. All right, thank you. Okay, folks, it's 12 noon. We're going to take a break. I've got about 20 to 30 cases to read. We'll come back and we'll wrap up. All right, thanks. Thank you. Let's see. Mute. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name?
Dominique McNutt.
Ms. McNutt, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. He's a lawyer with that office. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for trespassing after warning. Your bond, I'm going to modify to $250, but order that you not return to the Caribbean Market located at 1446 North Pine Hills Road. Don't go back to that location. Your next court date will be provided to you. Thank you. Sir, your name?
Will Vernellis.
Pinellas?
Vernellis.
Vernellis,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
I thought Carter Purcell was next.
Purcell bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Vernellis, you've been arrested on a warrant out of Seminole County. It's a traffic misdemeanor offense. The issuing court set bond at $500, so that is your bond amount. Seminole County will have 24 hours to pick you up on that particular warrant. There's a second warrant out of Seminole County, the underlying charge driving, or is that the same one? That's the same one, same one. So it's one warrant, you have a bond, $500. Seminole can pick you up in 24 hours. Thank you.
Very much.
Your name?
Caitlin Hancock.
All right, Ms. Hancock, just a moment. This was a reset.
Your Honor, I have a supplemental report from
Okay.
the officer, if I may approach.
Yes. Thank you. One moment while I read a supplemental report. Were you intending to hand me this report on the Caitlin Hancock case?
Yes, did I give you the wrong one, Your Honor?
Well, I don't know. Let me keep reading. I believe this one is pertaining primarily to Raekwon.
Oh. I had multiple copies for both of them.
Okay.
Let me make sure I gave you the right one.
All right, this is.
It should be from Angelica de la Cruz as the officer.
Okay, just a moment. I need to refresh my memory on this one.
It's the armed
The
trespassing
sticky fell off,
on
didn't it?
structure. Yes, Your Honor, I think I stapled them opposite. Let me double check.
This was the one where I wanted the probable cause for arrest at the time he grabbed her getting out of the car and put her in the back of the patrol car. All right.
Sorry, can I have that? Or-
Sure.
That will be for this.
Okay, I'll just retain it. Thank you. All right, based on the totality of circumstances, the court finds probable cause for count 1, possession of fentanyl, count 2, possession of cocaine, count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bond on count 1 will be $2,500. Your bond on count 2, possession of cocaine, $1,000. Your bond on count 3, possession of drug paraphernalia, will remain $100. Should you make bond, you must not possess, ingest, or consume any illegal substances or any controlled substances. You're to have no contact with the alleged co-defendant, Brian Gainey. No contact means none. With the bond that's been imposed, is the defendant subject also to pretrial release supervision?
No, she's not.
No? All right, so those are the conditions of your release. Did I appoint public defender yesterday?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so you have a lawyer, and your next court date will be provided. Thank you. Jason Clark? Looking for Mr. Clark. Are you Mr. Clark?
Yes.
All right, sir. All right, Mr. Clark, you were arrested for open container of an alcoholic beverage in violation of city ordinance. Court finds probable cause. I will appoint a public defender to represent you based on your application. Anything, Mr. Chavez?
Mr. Clark would like to plead to the bench, Judge.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. I'll let you sign that if you're in agreement. Mr. Clark, by entering this plea, if you decide to enter a plea of guilty, you're giving up your right to a trial. Do you understand that? You need to answer out loud in response to each question.
Okay.
Do you understand that you're giving up your right to a jury trial?
No contest. Yes, Your Honor.
If you're not a United States citizen, do you understand the plea would subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied that you've had enough chance to discuss this with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you wish to enter a plea of guilty to open container in violation of the city ordinance?
Can I plead no contest, Your Honor?
I'll accept a plea of no contest if that's what you wish to do. You wish to plead no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
If I'm going to finalize acceptance of that, there's one more question. This case right now does not have an information that's been filed or a notice to appear that meets the rules requirements. So you would be relieving the state of the requirement to file a charging instrument in this case. Are you okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will rely on the police report and accept your plea of no contest. I will adjudicate you guilty. How much time does he have? 1 or 2? He's arrested on the 7th, so it should be 2 days, right? Today's the 8th, so I'm adjudicating you guilty, sentencing you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you've already served. If you want to drink beer or any other alcoholic beverage, you certainly can do that as long as you're 21 and you're not out in the public walking around. Otherwise, you'd get arrested, you see, so don't do that anymore. Court costs are $323? $373, okay. Or $273, okay. Includes the PD?
I would ask that you do not do that, Judge. I didn't really represent him. I didn't go over facts. I didn't really break down the case for him.
All right. How much would it be without the PD? All right, so your court costs are $223. I'll give you 90 days from today's date to pay that in full, and you have 30 days to appeal, and you'll be released on this case today. Thank you. I know you gave me a schedule of fines, but or cost. I'll just ask you. Yeah, it's $223. Your name?
Warren Sanders, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Sanders. All right, you've been arrested for violation of a municipal or county ordinance for impeding traffic at the intersection of I-4 and West Anderson Street. specifically City Ordinance 4306, disorderly conduct. I'm going to make a provisional appointment of the Public Defender's Office today. Mr. Chavez, do you know how he wishes to proceed?
Yes.
Mr. Galloway says he would like to, or I'm sorry, Mr. Sanders would like to plead to the bench.
Is that right, Mr. Sanders?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. By entering this plea, do you understand you're giving up your right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
If not a United States citizen, you understand the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, sir.
Right now, all I have is a police report. The prosecutor hasn't filed a formal document. Are you waiving the requirement that a formal document be filed in the case?
Yes, sir.
All right. You wish to enter a plea of guilty at this time to the charge of disorderly conduct as alleged?
Yes, sir.
I accept your plea of guilty. Before imposing sentence, if you were to walk out of here today, do you plan on going right back to West Anderson Street and I-4?
No, sir. Sir, could I explain something? I used to work, but I got a hernia. I have Operation December 20th.
Okay.
And that's why I've been surviving. I used to work downtown at Artisan's Table. But no, I don't plan on going back to Anderson Street.
All right, I accept your plea of guilty, adjudicate you guilty, sentence to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you've already served. Court costs are $223, ordering that you pay that in full within 120 days to the clerk of court. 30 days to appeal. You'll be released on this case today, subject to any other holds. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Waite, Clarence Waite.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Waite, yeah, you've been arrested and the court finds probable cause for a violation of municipal or city ordinance of disorderly conduct. I'll make an appointment at the Public Defender's Office based on your application. Mr. Chavez?
Mr. Waite says he'll go ahead and plead to the bench, Judge.
All right, Mr. Waite, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand if you enter this plea, you're giving up your right to a trial?
Yes, sir.
If not a United States citizen, you understand the plea would subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
State normally would have to file an information or a valid notice to appear. You willing to plead just to the police report?
Yes, sir.
Understanding these rights and consequences, do you wish to plead guilty to disorderly conduct as alleged?
Yes, sir.
All right, I accept your plea. Just one moment. Looks like you keep doing this over and over and over and over again.
No, I wasn't just, and I went to a different spot and I didn't know that I couldn't do that.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you just can't walk out into the road and solicit vehicles on the highway. All right, so I will adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for the 2 days that you've already served. Court costs are $223, order that you pay within 120 days to the clerk of court. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. Thank you.
5 days.
5 days.
So,
Yes,
so again, I have 3 more days?
I'll let you do the math, but that sounds correct math to me. Yes. Hello, sir. Your name?
Damian Bryson.
All right, Mr. Bryson, I have reviewed the police report. Anyone here on the Bryson matter? I don't see that. The court does find probable cause for the offense of battery. I I don't see paperwork for the public defender. Do you have enough money to hire your own lawyer?
No, sir.
Do you want me to appoint the public defender to help you in the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll provisionally appoint the public defender. Having found probable cause for the offense of battery, I'm setting your bond in the case in the amount. Just a second. Okay. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Jennifer Mabry, not to return to 6212 Forest Grove Boulevard. If you have belongings at that location, such as clothing and toothbrush and things like that, I'd grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office, and your next court date will be given to you. Thank you. Okay. Your name?
Jessica Casano.
All right, Ms. Casano, just one moment. Are you Christopher Costello?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You're the named alleged victim in the case. You have the right to briefly be heard today if there's something you wanted to say.
No, just want
Okay.
her home, yeah.
State anything you want to say?
State would ask for a no contact order with the victim.
Does the defendant qualify for straight pretrial release?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Casano, you're going to be placed on pretrial release supervision. You have to follow all the rules of the pretrial release program, which you will receive for now until further order of the court. For now, you're to have no contact with Christopher Costello, all right? And you may not return for now to 319 Woodland, just a moment, 319 Woodland Cemetery Road. If you have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing, toothbrush, toiletries, items for work, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring those belongings. Also, you're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages as a condition of your release. You did submit paperwork for counsel, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You can talk to your lawyer about the possibility of having those conditions modified. That's just the order for now, and so make sure you're in full compliance with that. Even if Mr. Castillo wants you to go there, you cannot, because you can have no contact. All right? Thank you. You'll be getting your court date.
Thank you.
Your name, sir?
Chad Gilman.
All right, Mr. Gilman, I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the offense of battery. One moment. Okay. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. I'm setting your bond in this case in the amount of $250. You're not to have any contact with Chad Gilman. Excuse me, that's incorrect. You can have contact with yourself, all right? You're not to have any contact with Ms. Megan Sears. You're also not to return to 665 Laurel Lake Court. If you have personal belongings at that location, I'd grant an assist order with the sheriff's office to get those things, such as clothing, toothbrush. You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages as a condition of your release, and you'll receive your court date. Thank you. Mr. Grubbs?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just a moment. Mr. Grubbs, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. I have reviewed the police report in the case, and I do find probable cause for the offense of battery as alleged. Just a moment.
Your Honor, there is a victim standing over here.
Thank you. All right, are you Ms. Aubrey Burkhart?
Your Honor.
All right, you are the named victim, the alleged victim in the case. You do have the right to be heard today if there's something that you wanted to say.
He didn't hurt me. He's not dangerous. We've got 6 children back at home.
Okay.
I don't want to press charges. I just want him back at home with the family.
Okay, just one moment.
Your Honor, state would ask for a no contact order with the victim.
All right, so your bond will be $500. Until further order of the court, you're to have no contact with Ms. Aubrey Burkhart, and you're not to return to 423 Bella Vita Boulevard. You can talk to your attorney about possibly getting that modified. That's the order for now. Also, you're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. If you need to return to that location because you have clothing or personal belongings there, I'll grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for acquiring those belongings. All right, your next court date will be provided.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Harris? Thanks. Okay, Ms. Harris, you have the right to an attorney. However, you would have to hire your own if you're going to have counsel, okay? You don't qualify for the public defender's office. I have reviewed the police report in the case. I do find probable cause for the offense of battery. The defendant qualifies for straight pretrial release.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and place you on pretrial release. You have to follow the rules of the pretrial release program. Specific conditions for now, until further order of the court, you're to have no contact with Ivy Harris. You also can't return to 13206 Social Lane Drive, if that's the right, let me just confirm that's the address. Social Lane, 13206 Social Lane. Now, if you have clothing there and personal items that you need, I'll grant a one-time return for the assistance, with the assistance of the sheriff's office. If you acquire counsel, or even if you don't, you can request the court for a hearing to modify those conditions, but until further order of the court, you can't go back to that location, all right?
If we can get a alternative address, because that's the address she was staying at when we qualify her, due to you saying that no return, we need an alternative address.
Okay, do you know where you'll be living?
I have to get that from the person.
Okay, with a friend?
Yes.
Can you say PTR or bond?
Well, I can say that. Just a moment. Okay, which would be setting a specific bond amount. All right. So assuming you qualify for pretrial release, non-monetary, that would be fine, but you would have to give an address so that pretrial release can do what they need to do to facilitate the program. If you don't qualify for whatever reason, I'll give you a bond in the case, $100 in the case. All right, your next court date will be provided to you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Moore?
Yeah.
Your first name?
Nicholas.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. This is Mr. Chavez to your left. I have reviewed the police report and I find probable cause for the offense of battery. Just one moment. Still unable to, there was an inability to contact the victim, right?
Yes. We left in Westwood.
Okay. All right, sir, your bond is $500. Should you make bond, you're to have no hostile contact with Mr. Matthew Moore. I know that's your father, I believe. No hostile contact. That means obviously no acts of violence, but even any threats of violence, none of that. You also, for now, must not return to 2913 Nowak Drive. If you have personal belongings there, such as clothing and other items, I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for getting those belongings. Your next court date will be provided. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Reeves?
Yeah.
Sir, your name?
I am Christopher Demi.
Okay, Mr. Damey, as the alleged victim in the case, you have the right to be heard if there's anything you wanted to say.
Honestly, she's no harm or no threat to me. And I'm active duty military. And I really, she really takes care of her daughter, but for some reason, I want her back to her daughter because I'm always busy. And she's the one always there for this kid, So that's all I can say, sir.
Okay, all right, just one moment.
Little kid.
Bond's $250. You're to have no contact with Mr. Chris Damey. He must maintain a separate residence until further order of the court, okay? I am appointing the public defender to represent you in this case, so you have a lawyer, and your next court date will be provided. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, sir. What was the amount again, the bond?
It was $250.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Thanks. All right, Mr. Anderson?
Yes, sir.
All right. One moment. Okay, there's two separate case numbers, 19 CF 16776 and 19 CF 16777. The court is appointing the public defender to represent you in these matters based on your application. The court finds probable cause for the listed offenses. In 16776, fleeing and eluding law enforcement with lights and sirens, your bond in that case will be $10,000. On count 2, the grand theft of a motor vehicle, the bond will be $2,500. And on the last count, driving while license suspended, the bond will be $500. In case 19-16-777, on the grand theft of a motor vehicle, the bond will be $500. On the fleeing and eluding with lights and siren, it'll be $5,000. And on the driving while license suspended, it'll be $250. You're currently on release on an allegation of grand theft in case 19 CF 11401, which is a separate case, and based upon probable cause that you've committed new law violations, your ROR status is revoked and you'll be held zero bond. You'll be held zero bond on case 19 CF 11401. I will appoint the public defender in that matter as well, if not already appointed. I believe we've covered all the cases. All right, sir, thank you. You'll receive your court dates. All right, your name, sir?
Robert T. Cooks, Jr.
All right, Mr. Cooks, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left. The court does find probable cause for the listed offenses of possession of cocaine and trespassing. Your bonds will remain as they've been set, $1,000 on count 1. $100 on count 2. Should you make bond, you're not to return to the Quick Stop.
Yes, sir.
Located at 2015 South Orange Blossom Trail. Don't go back to that location.
Yes, sir.
Your next court date will be provided.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Whoops, I didn't take the sticky off. Your name, sir?
Ruben Curtis.
Okay, Mr. Curtis, you've been arrested on an outstanding warrant. It's a felony petty theft based upon 2 prior theft convictions. The bond is $3,500. The Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in this matter, and your next court date will be provided. $3,500, yeah, that was the amount on the award. Next I have is Crystal Deese.
Hospital.
Okay. We'll reset until tomorrow for another jurist. Okay. All right. Sir, your name?
Rodney Louis Falk.
All right, Mr. Falk. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. This is Mr. Chavez, standing to your left. He's a lawyer with that office. The court finds probable cause for driving while, I'm sorry, there's two matters in there. Okay, the court finds probable cause for driving while license suspended with knowledge. Your bond on that, it's alleged 2 prior convictions, making it a felony variety of driving while license suspended. Your bond will be $2,500. There's another matter, and that's a failure to appear on case 18MM6517. The judge issued a 0 bond on that matter due to the failure to appear, so that'll be your bond amount. Public defender appointed in each.
So my bond, I look at it how much, sir?
Well, on one case you have a bond, and on another case you don't. The $2,500 is the amount of your bond on the traffic case, but unfortunately there's a 0 bond on a failure to appear misdemeanor.
Come out to go over that.
I didn't understand your question.
When did I come out to go for the failure to appear?
I still don't understand the question.
Back to court, Your Honor, for
Oh, we have a court date on that? Not yet. You'll receive the court date. We just don't have it for you now. All right. Thank you. Your name, sir?
Chris Orm.
Okay, there's 2 affidavits here. Just a moment, Mr. Harmon. There's 2 affidavits that arise out of this, basically the same incident. First of all, in 19 CF 16787, the court finds probable cause for grand theft of a motor vehicle. Having reviewed the totality of circumstances, your bond on that case is going to be $5,000. There's a second affidavit, and the court finds probable cause for a burglary of a dwelling. That's case 19 CF 16770. Count 1 will remain $5,000. Count 2 is an allegation of false imprisonment. The bond will remain $150. And count 3, resisting an officer without violence, it'll remain $100. The public defender's office will be appointed to represent you in these matters. Just one moment. You're also to have no contact whatsoever with Michael Jernigan, who's alleged to be a co-defendant in the case. And you're not to return to the location of the alleged burglary. Just a second. Which is 31 Deacon Jones Boulevard. Don't return to that location. Your next court dates will be provided. Thank you.
DeAndre Jackson is no help.
Okay, we'll reset DeAndre Jackson then.
Michael Jernigan is also mental health.
We'll reset him as well. All right, sir, your name?
Eddie Mathis.
All right, Mr. Mathis. Court finds probable cause for operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, as well as operating a motor vehicle while revoked as habitual traffic offender. Your bond on operating a motor vehicle without a valid license will remain $500. On count 2, the driving as a habitual traffic offender will remain $2,500. You are out on bond, as you may know or should know, in case 18 CT 3458, which is a criminal traffic offense. Based on probable cause of a new law violation, your bond in that matter will be revoked, and you'll be held on a 0 bond on that particular case. Public Defender's Office will be appointed in all cases.
Where's that case, Your Honor?
It's right here in Orange County.
No, sir, Your Honor. I don't have any cases in Orange County.
I think you're right about that. I think I'm wrong. What was that, Madam Clerk? Osceola? It's Osceola. So it's in this circuit, but not in this county. And in fact, let's see. Let me look at one more matter.
Yes,
Looks like
sir.
that'll be in front of Judge John Savage or Judge Arendis in Osceola County.
Osceola, I have, it's neither one of those judges. It was Christine,
Christine Arendis, yes.
Arendis?
Yes, her office is right next to mine.
Okay.
She'll be handling your case.
Okay, so I have a trial tomorrow, Your Honor, in Polk County.
Okay.
I was coming from work, from St. Cloud Wedding and Restoration. I have a court date in Polk County tomorrow, and I have my disposition the 18th in Kissimmee. I have kidney disease, so they have a surgery for my ports, and she rescheduled that to the 18th, and I'm supposed to do away with that the 18th, but I have a case in Polk County that I'm doing away with tomorrow. I mean, I work, Your Honor, I do everything. I haven't missed a court date or anything.
Okay, let me, if you believe that your failure to appear for a court date in front of Judge Arendis was, actually, that was a...
No, I never...
Stop, just a moment, stop. If you believe that your failure to appear in front of Judge Arendis in Osceola County was not willful, you'll need to tell that to your lawyer, okay? I can't have a hearing on that today, and I'm not going to have a hearing on that today.
When do I have a failure to appear?
All right. You can talk to your lawyer about that. This hearing is finished, all right? We're done.
This way, sir.
All right, is Ms. Glinda Pravat present? Hello, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Pravat. All right, I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. These matters, this is Mr. Chavez to your left.
Yes.
The court, having reviewed the sworn affidavit, does find probable cause for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. The bonds will be $1,000 on count 1 and $500 on count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia. Unfortunately, you have an open case that's pending, that you're in a present ROR status. That's case 19MM524, possession of drug paraphernalia and resisting without violence. The court will revoke your ROR status in that case, and you'll be held on a zero bond in that particular matter. Your next court dates will be provided. All right, thank you. Okay, is Ms. Rojas here?
Good afternoon.
Are you Naomi Rojas?
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. You've been arrested on an alleged violation of probation, case number 18 CF 8443. The issuing court set your bond at 0 on the violation of probation. Just 1 second. The court also finds probable cause for petty theft. I'm setting your bond in that case. It's going to be $1,000. If you make bond, you're not to return to the J.C. Penney located at 8001 South Orange Blossom Trail. Don't return to that location. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you in these matters.
How much is my bond for the probation, for the violation?
It's a 0 bond on the violation of probation.
I won't get any bond for...
Well, not now.
Because my son is, I might have nobody right now with him. I need to see how I figure this out for him.
Okay. Yeah, well, you'll have to petition the court to get a modification to that, but on a violation of probation, it's very often the case it's a 0 bond, and it'll be up to the court that's handling the VOP to make any changes to that. All right, thanks. All right, Ms. Santiago, you Christina?
Sir.
All right. I have reviewed the police report, and the court does find probable cause for count 1, battery on a law enforcement officer, count 2, battery, and count 3, resisting an officer without violence. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. Should you make bond, you're not to have any contact with Mr. Alan Zbluski. You're not to return to 3617 Daleford Road. You're not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. If you have personal property at that location, then I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the Sheriff's Office for acquiring those belongings. Your next court date will be provided. Thank you. I didn't say the bonds? Very important matter that I need to address, Ms. Santiago. I did not address the bonds, okay? Just 1 second. The bond on count 1 will remain $2,500, and the bond on battery will remain $500, and the bond on resisting without violence will remain $500. All right? Thank you. Jesse Smith. Hello, Mr. Smith. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. This is Mr. Chavez to your left. While there may be some viable Fourth Amendment issues to be raised in the case based on the probable cause standard, the court finds probable cause for the listed charges of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting an officer without violence. Just a moment. Your bonds will remain as they're set. Count 1, 1,000, and 500 on the 2 remaining counts. All right, thank you. Okay, Daquan White, I believe we have a supplement on this one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a moment. Sir, your name?
Daquan White.
Raekwon White. Daquan, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I have.
Your Honor, the supplement's for Raekwon Williams, not Daquan White. Similar
Okay,
names.
okay, all right. I confused it with another case that you gave me a supplement on, so now we're tied for confusion. All right, just a moment.
So we're doing Daquan White.
We're doing Daquan White, and I have my little sticky note here
That's
with
for Raekwon Williams.
things to refresh my memory, all right? Mr. White, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you in the case. This is Mr. Chavez standing to your left, okay?
Yes, sir.
Just a second. Oh, yes. I'm going to give the state 24 hours to supplement the record, and I'm not real good at being succinct, but here we go. Okay, so the reason I'm giving 24 hours is to provide additional information concerning the initial basis for detention. As to the burglary in count 1, it would also require an intent to commit a crime when entering the area. And I know that the theory would be he was fleeing from an officer, but that ties back to the original probable cause for detention. As to the criminal mischief, apparently there was damage to a stove. However, the facts as they're reported don't make clear that that was the specific intent of the defendant. As to count 3, possession of cannabis, that would be fruit of the poisonous tree unless there's a basis for the detention initially. And as for the resisting without violence, obviously that goes to the underlying core concern about probable cause for the detention. There was a report in a high crime area and that type of thing, but that would need to be further detailed for the court to make informed findings. Now, it'll be a different jurist tomorrow. Maybe there won't be the same concerns, but I'm going to reset this for tomorrow. The defendant will remain on his current bonds, $5,000 count 1, which is for the burglary, and $100 on the 3 remaining counts of criminal mischief, possession of cannabis, and resisting without violence. Public defender's been appointed and reset for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yes,
Is
sir.
But if my people was to bond me out, I could still bond out?
You have the bonds that are on the police report right now, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, does that conclude it?
Your Honor,
133, going on it.
we didn't do Raekwon Williams with the supplemental though.
Okay, Daquan Williams.
Raekwon Williams.
He bonded though.
Oh, I didn't
He
know.
bonded, so
Okay.
it has become a moot issue. And we finished almost at 1:30. We're appointing something.
Your Honor, there's also 2 cases I have that were just not called. They probably might have bonded already.
Okay.
Mustafa Al-Sarraf.
Oh my goodness, I wrote on this.
And Jose Goico. He was in the move-up, but it didn't go well.
Say again?